Good day to each and everyone. I am Riza Beltero and I will be discussing about perennialism. Perennialism was first developed by Thomas Aquinas in 13th century and was originally a religious in nature. It really argues for the existence of universal truths. Perennialist teaches principles and not facts. Perennialism comes from the word perennial, which means everlasting. Basically, perennialists believed in permanence, which is more real than change. Perennialism is a teacher-centered educational philosophy and a subject-based approach to accomplish their educational goals, which is to ensure that students acquire knowledge of these unchanging principles or ideas. Perennialists believe that since people are human, one should teach first about humans and not about machines or techniques. Also, it focuses on mastering the 3 R's, which is the reading, writing, and arithmetic. The educational leaders of perennialisms are Mortimer Adler, Jacques Maritain, and Robert Hutchins. And two of the best-known advocates of perennialist theory have been Robert Maynard Hutchins and Mortimer Adler. So, Robert Maynard Hutchins was an American educational philosopher and one of the most influential members of the school of secular perennialism. And according to him is that the purpose of the university is nothing less than to procure a moral, intellectual, and spiritual revolution throughout the world. Mortimer Adler was an educational theorist that founded his teaching beliefs in perennialism and played an important role in helping schools and colleges incorporate perennial principles in education. Mortimer Adler believed that everyone should be educated in the same way towards an understanding of the truth based on Western philosophy. He also believed that pinnacle of knowledge was embedded in the teachings that could only be focused on the material that is need to be taught rather than the needs of each student. Jacques Maritain was raised as a Protestant and he became an agnostic before converting to Catholicism. Maritain's interests and works spanned many aspects of philosophy, including aesthetics, political theory, philosophy of science, metaphysics, the nature of education, liturgy, and ecclesiology. He proposed as the perennially valid truths about reality and education. According to him, the goal of education are intellectual understanding, moral development, aesthetic cultivation, and religious formation through the inculcation of perennial truths and values. This education takes place in 3 stages. The rudimentary or elementary education attempts to develop the imagination and intellectual skills of the learner. Secondary education in secondary schools and colleges focuses on the liberal arts. And advanced graduate education entails specialization to prepare a person or the learner for their future professions and or careers. Perennialism curriculum is a theory of formal education that suggests that all systematic knowledge can be divided into 4 types, namely like art, science, philosophy, and mathematics. So let us now move to the forms of perennialism. And perennialism has 2 forms or 2 types, the secular perennialism and religious perennialism. So first, let us discuss the secular perennialism. So when I say secular perennialism, it comprises the humanist and scientific progressivist that memorization of vast amount of factual information and a focus on second-hand information in textbooks and lectures does not develop rational thought. Secular perennialism was promoted by Robert Hutchins and Mortimer Adler. The important thing in secular perennialism is that learning to reason. The word perennial suggests something that lasts for an indefinite long time, occurs again and again, or it is self-renewing. Secular perennialism also advocates using original work in education. Now let us proceed to the second form or type of perennialism, which is the religious or theistic perennialism. So when we say religious perennialism, it was first developed by Thomas Aquinas in 13th century. This type of perennialism focused on the personal development of the student and that all learnings cannot come from within. So, religious perennialism continues to shape the nature of Catholic schools throughout the world. The curriculum in the perennialism focuses on analyzing great religious books such as the Bible and the Quran, discerning moral truths and honoring the true moral values. So we are done with the two forms or two types of perennialism, which is again the secular perennialism and the theistic perennialism or religious perennialism. So let us now proceed to the implications of perennialism to the Filipino teachers. So the perennialist teachers are prominent and dominant throughout the classroom. It sounds like you were describing a traditional Filipino classroom setup, where teachers take a central and authoritative role. In such settings, teachers are often the primary source of knowledge and direction, and that their presence can be very influential in shaping the classroom environment and the learning experience of a learner. So, teacher pushes students for learning drills, memorization, and repetition for learning the knowledge in great books. The perennialist curriculum is a teaching method that focuses on the study of timeless topics. Within perennialist curriculum, activities are tied to the past and not on what is essential right now. Just like how Filipino teacher teaches their students, they use spiral progression in teaching certain subject matter to their students. Perennialism values the traditions of the past and seek to preserve and transmit these traditions to new generations, believing that they hold the key to understanding and improving the present and the future. For a Filipino classroom adhering to perennialism educational philosophy, it uses subject matter-centered approach in teaching that requires mastery of learning content, which is very emphasized. Perennialist teacher is an authority figure in the classroom that transmit and interpret knowledge because they believe that education is the process of transmitting, changing knowledge from generation to generation. In the context of the Philippines, a perennialist approach might also involve integrating local or national historical and cultural elements into the curriculum. As long as these curriculum are viewed as contributing to the broader understanding of universal truths and values. This could mean incorporating Filipino classics, historical figures, and cultural heritage into the study of enduring principles. Overall, perennialism approach in a Filipino classroom would aim to ensure that students gain a solid foundation of knowledge that has been valued over time, while also developing the ability to think critically about these ideas. So, perennialism or the perennialist teachers believe that students' minds are an empty canvas where they can be filled with knowledge from all time periods. Teaching students to study timeless topics such as mathematics, histories, science, or literature is the key because it creates a solid foundation to develop students' intellectual skills. Perennialist stimulates students in how to think critically and thoughtfully, cultivating their rational mind. Perennialism stands for the idea of learning without end. Again, learning without end. It promotes lifelong learning and education system that is constantly evolving They believe that all students should have access to a wide variety of educational opportunities throughout their life. So, we are done with the key concepts of perennialisms and its implications to the Filipino teachers. So, let us now proceed to the various application to actual teaching practices in terms of planning, delivery, and evaluation. So first, let us discuss the application of perennialism in terms of planning. So, perennialists are primarily concerned with the importance of mastery of the content and development of reasoning skills. Perennialists in education focus on the ideas that certain core knowledge and reasoning skills are essentials and that should be or at the heart of the education. Perennialist teachers aims to provide students with a robust foundation in the key intellectual and cultural traditions that have shaped human thought. The focus of perennialism as a philosophy of education is for personal development of the students or of the learners through inculcating in them the principles that has been passed from generation to generation. The goal is to inculcate a well-rounded intellectual and moral character through engagement with foundations or foundational texts and concepts that have human thought across generations. This approach seeks to prepare students not only with knowledge but also with capacity for critical reflections and ethical reasoning. The design of the curriculum provides students with choices and challenges to develop their intellectual skills, moral characters, and emotional and physical powers. The ultimate goal of education is to educate the whole person of a learner. A curriculum designed to educate the whole person, focusing on nurturing intellectual abilities, moral values, emotional resilience, and physical health of the learner. By offering choices and challenges across these dimensions, education becomes a comprehensive process that prepares students for a well-rounded, successful life. Perennialists disapprove teachers requiring students to absorb massive amounts of disconnected informations. Perennialists critique educational approaches that prioritize the rote memorization of isolated facts or disconnected pieces of information. They argue that such methods fail to engage students in meaningful learning and do not promote deep understanding or critical thinking. They recommended that schools should spend more time in teaching about concepts and explaining why they were meaningful to students. We are done with the application in teaching in terms of planning. Let us now proceed to application of perennialism in actual teaching in terms of delivery. The theory of perennialism believed that the environment plays a big role in teaching the students. So basically, they believe that a person or a student, a learner, learns by experience. It emphasizes that the importance of enduring ideas and principles rather than focusing heavily on experiential learning or environmental factors. However, it does recognize the role of the environment in shaping education in a more nuanced way. The environment should encourage students to engage critically within enduring ideas. This is facilitated through methods such as Socratic dialogue, where students are prompted to explore and question concepts deeply. While perennialism values the transmission of ideas or timeless ideas, it also acknowledges the students learn more effectively when they were actively engaged with the material. So basically learning by doing. So teachers should allow learner to learn through reading the great books teacher focuses on the importance of reading. Teachers instill to learners respect for authority, duty, consideration, and practicality. In perennialism, teachers plays a crucial role in instilling important values and attitudes in students. While the primary focus is on engaging students with timeless ideas and great books. Perennialism also emphasizes the cultivation of certain virtues and characteristics. In perennialism, teachers are instrumental in instilling respect for authority, a sense of duty, consideration for others, and practicality in students. Through their guidance and the study of enduring ideas, students are encouraged to approach their learning with dedication, engage thoughtfully with diverse perspectives, and reflect on practical implications of their knowledge. This holistic approach aims to develop well-rounded individuals who appreciate intellectual traditions, fulfill their responsibilities, and engage respectfully with others. Perennialist teachers uses Socratic method in teaching. It is a question-based dialogue which involves asking probing questions that stimulates students to think critically and reflect deeply on the material. Instead of providing answers directly, teachers guide students through a process of inquiry and exploration. In a perennialist education, the Socratic method is used for foster deep intellectual engagement, critical thinking, and reflective learning. By employing this method, teachers guide students through a process of inquiry and discussion, helping them develop a profound understanding and enduring ideas and principles. This approach aligns with the perennialist emphasis on meaningful learning and cultivation of intellectual virtues. Teachers act as director and coach of intellect, deliver clear lectures, and coaches critical thinking towards the students. It emphasizes that students should not be taught information that may be soon be outdated or found to be incorrect. Perennialists believe that students should be engaged with context that is stable or less likely to be obsolete. The focus is on foundational knowledge that provides a solid intellectual base rather than information that might quickly become outdated due to rapid advancement of technology or changes in the society. By prioritizing content with long-term significance, perennialism aims to equip students with deep understanding or enduring ideas and ability to think critically and reflectively. Perennialism is a teacher-centered philosophy in which the teacher is less concerned with the student's interest and more concerned with transferring knowledge from older generation to a younger generation. Students are expected to engage with material as presented, developing a disciplined approach to a learning that aligns with the teacher's guidance and curriculum objectives. Teachers plays a crucial role in guiding students through a curriculum that emphasizes timeless and foundational ideas rather than tailoring instruction to individuals' interests or contemporary trends. This approach aims to cultivate a deep understanding of enduring concepts to develop a student's intellectual and moral character. The last application of perennialism in actual teaching practice is for evaluation. Applying perennialism will definitely set not only the mind but the whole aspect of the learner and better understand all the ideas, knowledge, or facts that will be given to them that is considered to be necessary. Students spend most of their time mastering the 3 R's, the reading, writing, and arithmetic. These are considered essential for intellectual development and are seen as the building blocks for further learning. Greatest importance placed on reading. Among these, reading holds the greatest importance because students are encouraged to engage deeply with classic texts, which are integral to the curriculum. This emphasis helps in developing critical thinking and comprehension skills. Teach values and character trainings through discussions about underlying values and moral principles. Only elective or selective is the choice of second language. The curriculum is structured around essential content and skills, with limited or elective options only, reflecting a focus on deep and enduring significance. This aims to promote a developed and well-rounded individuals with a strong intellectual and moral foundation. And that sums up my report about perennialism. Thank you for listening.